Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes and we'll get started. If you'd like to take a seat, thank you. And my esteemed colleague at IT.com. Come, Munir, say hello. We're looking forward to hearing from you. And there's a giveaway at the end.
Thank you, Tess. Hello, everyone. And thanks to Helmut for organizing this event. Yes, thank you, Helmut. That's for you. It's the second edition. I'm proud to be here again. I was the first edition last year. It was in a restaurant, for those of you who remember and been there. And the event scene is evolving. And like Michael previously said, it's good to have to have London and UK on the global domain events map once again. So I represent a very interesting and evolving region, the Middle East and North Africa, MENA, and the GCC. GCC is part of the MENA region. GCC stands for Gulf Cooperation Council. It's a union of 6 countries: United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, and Saudi Arabia. So I'll be sharing with you a few insights about the market, about the latest developments, what's happening in the market, and what are the opportunities available. And there is a giveaway at the end. It's an interesting board game. Some of you might already know what I'm talking about, but just stay tuned and you will learn about it shortly. All right, a quick introduction about myself. So I've been living in Dubai for the past 27 years, from 1996, and I run a company called AEserver.com. We are the largest privately owned domain name registrar and web hosting company based out of Dubai. This is a company I founded. It was a startup and then developed into the company it is today. I also serve as an advisor to the IT.com domains company, which is the general title sponsor of today's event. And I'm also the founder and curator of a friendly event, Domain Days Dubai, which will happen in November this year. I have a booth on the right there behind, so you're welcome to pass by after the after my talk and discuss, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. So I speak 3 languages: Arabic, English, and Russian. I'm half Arab, half Russian, and been in Dubai for the past 27 years. So the company AEserver, we are accredited for AE, that's for Arab Emirates, QA for Qatar, BH for Bahrain. All these 3 domain name zones are open and unrestricted. Anyone can register a domain name. It's as easy as buying a .com domain name, so absolutely no restrictions. We are also a RIPE member. We provide hosting, data center, co-location out of Dubai data center, and we are growing and expanding into other regions. So we do classical web hosting, manage WordPress, so the usual web presence solutions. All right, so MENA, what is MENA? As Tess and I said, it's the Middle East and North Africa. The countries that are in the MENA region are debatable. According to Wikipedia, well, if you see the dark blue on the map, these are the most commonly referred to countries in MENA. You have the GCC, you have Egypt, you have Tunisia, Morocco. Sometimes they add Iran, they add Turkey, sometimes not. Then there is India and Pakistan as well. You have Eritrea, Sudan. So it's a bit of a challenging region in the sense that there is as you can see, there is no consensus of what countries are in the MENA region. But this is mostly a term which was coined by the industry, so there is no really officially a list of MENA countries, but it refers to the most active countries in the Middle East and North Africa. So we operate in this region. Lots of things unite us, including the Arabic language. I mean, that's the main language spoken in the MENA region. However, the language of business is English, especially in the GCC countries like the United Arab Emirates, where we are based. So let me deep dive into the numbers, and there has been a study done by the EuroID Center back in 2015, and there was a good friend of mine, Emily Tyler, a .eu registry, and this is available on the ICANN's website. So it's a study which is called the Middle East and Adjoining Countries DNS Study. This sheds light into the latest things happening in the Middle East, in the ccTLD markets, in the DNS space, in security, IDNs, and other topics. So, some interesting data about the MENA market. If we look at ICANN accredited registrars, there are 2,660 registrars globally, as per ICANN's website as of last night, and only 10 ICANN registrars in the whole MENA region, which is 0.37% of the whole market. It's a very, very small number. There are 4 ICANN registrars in the United Arab Emirates. I would say only 2 of them are active. The other 2, they are just there, I believe, for, I don't know, for business reasons, banking reasons, and I don't know why. But they don't operate, they don't sell domains. And you have a few spread around the MENA region. You have, in Iraq, you have a company, you have one in Morocco, you have one in Tunisia, and one in Jordan. The one in Jordan is a trademark IP protection company, Talal Abu Ghazala. So yeah, just 10 out of 2,660 ICANN registrars. It's a small number, but it is growing. And if you look at the new gTLD applications from the previous round, there were plenty from the region. There were a few geo gTLDs like .Abu Dhabi, .Dubai, a few brand like .Etisalat, which is one of the largest ISP providers globally. I believe they recently bought some shares into Vodafone UK as well. So there is lots of investments in and out of the market. The key takeaways of this study show, and this is across the whole MENA region, so we don't look at the best countries in terms of economy and GDP. We look in general at all the countries, and it says basic internet access issues need to be given priority. So there are still few countries which are not so advanced with basic things like internet connectivity. It says all stakeholders need to work together, which is true, to create an ecosystem, and the focus is to create local content, because local content generates local use of internet resources, social medias, website, and of course domain names. And the investments which have to come to the region. Now, the key takeaways related to the domain name market are there is room for diversity and business. It's a land of opportunity. One of the main key elements is to liberalize the policies, and I will talk about this in more detail shortly, and enhancing automation and registry operations. Since we are all in the domain name market, we know how automation, EPP, APIs, and just the whole automation plays a key role. And of course, opening the market to international registrars. Now, you might be wondering, you're attending a London Domain Summit, I'm talking about the Middle East, so what's going on here? And the reason why I'm sharing these insights with you is that, trust me, even the UK, Europe, they were all at this stage many years ago, and they've developed and they've overcome these challenges, and our region is developing and also overcoming these challenges one by one. Okay, so we lost the connection. Let me check. Sorry guys, 1 minute, just a technical... All right, and I'm back. So, everything described in this study, it has a proof of concept. And the proof of concept are 3 countries in the Middle East, in the GCC. These are the UAE, Qatar, and Bahrain. And why are they so important is that they've actually implemented all the advice, all the comments which were found in these and the previous studies, and they are a true success story. Let me explain why. So looking at the MENA population, we have 578 million people. If you look at UAE, it's just 10 million people. I believe London is 10 million people alone. So the whole country is 10 million people. Qatar is 2.7 million, Bahrain 1.5. Official language is Arabic, but everyone speaks English. It's the business language and the day-to-day language. Okay. I'm not going to try to connect again. I will just read from the slides. So there are just 3 million domain names registered in the MENA region, according to the 2015 ICANN study. And one thing which I didn't say from the previous presentation, the previous slide, is that ICANN commissioned a new study. They've published a request for proposal in June, so 2 months ago, and they are commissioning a new study into the MENA region. And hopefully within 1 year we will have some updates on the data that they shared from the 2015 number. Now, about the 3 ccTLDs which I mentioned, AE, QA, and BH. AE is the leader with 300,000 domain name registrations. The namespace grew by around 37% in the past 24 months, which is an absolute milestone for the registry. And as I said, it's an unrestricted domain name. Anyone can register a domain name. Qatar is growing, especially after hosting the FIFA World Cup, at around 25,000 domain registrations. And Bahrain is a newcomer. Bahrain reopened the domain name zone. It's available for registration by anyone with around 6,000 domain names. So do you see a trend here? And the trend is that these, okay, let me try to do this again because I really need to show you the data. So, okay, let's try this again. So the trend is that these 3 countries opened up their ccTLD to foreign investment, to domainers, to aftermarket services, to people like you and me. Anyone can register a domain name. You like a domain name, if it's available, just register it. And the key element here is that they've opened it up to international registrars. So if there are registrars in this room and you wish to, participate in these ccTLDs, you can sign up. In fact, in the .ae, there are 23 registrars. 90% are international companies like 101 Domain, Instra, Internet X, and so on, all international players. Same applies in the Qatar and same applies in Bahrain. Bahrain has 40 registrars, for 6,000 domain names. The competition is fierce, it's crazy. So majority of the registrars are international big names, and with the big names and with the competition comes innovation. And this is why these domain zones have been growing rapidly. So what about aftermarket? I know there are lots of domain investors in the room, and the AE has been a leader on the aftermarket space. The most expensive domain name that was reported for sale on NameBio via Sido was for $300,000 US. Then the second most expensive was $101,000. I believe it was auto.e. And there are so many sales happening every single day. However, they are not reported publicly. But most of the sales happen on Sido. So if you go on NameBio, you find all the data that is publicly reported. On Sido alone, you have more than 10,000 .ae domains listed for sale in the aftermarket. If you look at QA domains, I think 1,000 QA domains and many BH domain names. Okay. So what was this one? Yeah, so as I was saying, if you go on sido.com and you look up AE domain names, you have around, there are actually 4,000 domain names listed. If you look at BH domains, it says 47, but there is much more. I believe there is something wrong with the number of results, but there are many more domains listed. And if you go on Twitter and you search for aftermarket sales and AE, QA, BH, you will find so many quick flips happening in the sense that people are buying domain names for $100 and selling them for, I don't know, 300, 400 in a week later. So there is definitely room to also grow the aftermarket space. And without further ado, and I would like to thank Helmut for allowing me to also, talk about the event which is happening in Dubai. We are on friendly terms. We are supporting each other as a community because just like this event, we are also a community event in Dubai to go around and, explore uncharted territories. I would like to present to you, and here I called it, one of the solutions is networking, is getting to know new people, new markets. Domain Days Dubai. It's an event taking place in November of this year, November 1 and 2, in the beautiful city of Dubai. The website is domaindays.com. You can visit the website, review the agenda, the speakers, and the sponsors. And this event will cover everything from domain investing to domain registrars, registries. All the local domain registries will be there. Lots of local domain investors will be there. Are many domain investors that many of you know moved or relocated to Dubai in the past 2 years post the pandemic, and they'll be present at the event. We also have Web 3.0, traffic sources. Many of the faces here will be at the event, and many sponsors I see in the room as well. So this is a personal invite for you. You are welcome to explore the event and explore the uncharted territories just like we are doing. This is a community event. So last but not least, I have a giveaway, and I couldn't think of a better gift idea as a Monopoly, and it is a Dubai edition of the Monopoly. So instead of having the usual Bond Street and Oxford Street, we have all the streets of Dubai in the Monopoly. So I have 2 Monopolies by Hasbro, the board game maker, to give away later today. And to win one of the 2, you just have to scan this QR code. And if you are not able to scan it, maybe Tess and Ruslana will walk around with the QR code and you can scan it. You just have to put your name and email, and a lucky number generator will pick up 2 lucky winners today. It's just a small gift, and hopefully will serve as an invite to Dubai as well. So thank you very much. I'll be available here. If you have any questions, happy to talk.
Thank you so much, Munir.
Thank you, Tess.
We're all very excited to see you in Dubai. It will be my first time. Did the QR codes work in the back? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Munir. We look forward to seeing you more.
Thank you, Tess.